growing for a long time under the care of many wise gardeners. Some of these individuals and their insights will make appearances in the book. Rest assured, any research they mention is based on actual scientific findings with human rather than squirrel participants. For a full cast of characters and the people who inspired them, go to the inspiration section following the story. Chief among these characters is a brilliant thinker and writer named Mary Parker Follett, who lived between 1868 and 1933 and thoroughly stirred up business culture with her power with philosophy. She was highly influential in her time, yet, despite several efforts to bring her into modern consciousness, she and her thinking have been mostly lost to us. Perhaps this time we're ready to listen, and her ideas will finally break through. Before a wise friend of mine introduced me to Mary Parker Follett's writing, I came to many of the same conclusions via my personal experience, 8 decades after Follett's time. Without realizing it, my coworkers and I turned our company, Life Labs Learning, into a practice lab for sharing power in the workplace. We implemented each of the tactics in this book and reaped the rewards. Throughout my tenure as co-CEO, not only did we help roughly 2,000 companies become richly collaborative and fulfilling places to work, but we also grew our own organization from the ground up to over 30 million in revenue, 150 employees, 96% employee engagement, and less than 2% attrition, without outside funding and even through a pandemic. Most rewarding of all, we became the kind of community that continues to make each other better. At my current company, Scarlet Spark, we help leaders in the animal protection movement thoughtfully share their power to create organizational level and world level change. In the meantime, we experiment on ourselves so we can keep discovering new ways to amplify each other's power. In short, none of the ideas woven into this book exist in the realm of theory or squirrels. Every single one is backed by a combination of academic research and lived experience. But the most important ideas all along this journey will be your own. These are ideas that will help you understand the nature of power at work and in life. These are ideas that will help you lead not from the front or from behind, but to lead together. These are ideas that will make you a more powerful leader and person. That, in and of itself, is a worthwhile outcome. But it's only the first step. The next is to ask yourself, how will I use my power? In a moment, you will meet Sam, the hero of our story. You'll get to see the world through his eyes and meet the individuals in his life. Sure, they all happen to be squirrels, but see if you can find your own story reflected in his. Will you recognize people you know in Sam or in his coworkers? Will any of the pressures on his little squirrel shoulders mirror the pressures you carry on your own human ones? In what ways is your leadership philosophy similar to his? And in what ways is it different? Let's begin the story and find out.
Part 1. Sam the Squirrel. Chapter 1. An almost definitely great leader. Sam Squirrel was almost definitely a great leader, at least according to himself. He gathered more nuts than anyone else in the history of Nuts for You Incorporated, and he was promoted again and again until he worked his way up to a glamorous treetop office and the title of Executive Branch Manager. In the 3 months since he leaped into this new role, TNG, Total Nuts Gathered, increased by 20%. Now Sam was determined to make his division the most productive acorn gathering operation in the entire forest. The name Sam would be forever synonymous with success. He'd make his boss proud. He'd make his wife proud. And most important of all, he'd make their 2 little squirrel pups proud. "Wow," said Silvio, when Sam mentioned his branch's performance at a meeting of the Hightails, a nutworking group of leaders from local companies. Silvio was the VP of sales at a nest construction company that seemed to grow perpetually in reverse. He had a glint in his eye that could have been admiration or envy, or maybe a bit of both. Their small group sat in a circle beneath a willow tree whose long branches swept the ground and curtained them off from the rest of the forest. When they slipped into the cool shade of